Stereotypes.
Stereotype.
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 I think society stereotypes because of jealousy.
So I think that human beings like to categorise. They like to be able to process people and where they're from and kind of put them in boxes.
Because it's a good way of putting people into categories or boxes.
Because they have a fear of the unknown. They don't know what to expect, they don't know what to assume, so they create their own expectations.
It's all about personal experience.
The brain actually forms different categories from our experiences, and that's called schemata.
Because of media, social media.
It's a lack of education, ignorance. Yeah, Turkish people love kebabs. That's a stereotype.
People are intimidated by what they don't have or what they aspire to have in life. So they just think that if they try to find flaws in something that they can't have, then in a way it will bring some form of positives into what they have, which is not true.
If they create an idea or an expectation in their head, then it eliminates something being unknown because they believe they know it, they believe they know what people are like.
We are just genuinely scared of the unknown. If they don't know what to expect, they will just try it and, make up something in their mind so they know what to expect, even though that's not the reality.
One great example of schemas is when a baby actually forms one. So when a baby cries and his mother comes over, that baby is forming a belief in its head that every time it cries, it expects their mother to come over. So that baby now has formed a belief that mother's role is to help them and take care of the child.
That's how the brain works. We have an experience and we kind of bank it, and then when we're faced with an unfamiliar situation, then we go to past experiences to help us navigate that situation.
So for instance, if you've had a bad experience with a neighbour who happens to be of a certain race or a certain culture, then I think in your mind you think everybody of that culture or race is the same. And on the flip side, if you've got a neighbour that's really lovely and is again of a certain race or culture, you just think everybody from that race or culture is lovely.
I think that a stereotype helps them to do that. So if they've had an experience of something, then they liken that other person to the experience that they may have had with someone from a similar culture or background.
I think it's human nature that we stereotype. I think everybody is guilty of it. And people say that they don't, they're lying.
I don't stereotype.
I am guilty of stereotyping.
I'm definitely guilty of stereotyping.
It isn't bad intentions when people tend to stereotype.
For many people it's probably not on purpose, but we definitely all do stereotypes subconsciously.
I think a lot of it is just kind of our biology.
It might be an innate feature of human nature in itself.
I guess a survival mechanism, because if we don't know what to expect, I feel like a lot of people would crumble.
I work in a school.
So as you can see from my lovely hat, I'm a manager in McDonald's.
As a teacher means that I have to be inclusive as I can, and always have a mind on diversity and equality.
I come across a lot of families, and yes, I have stereotyped, and I've been right and I've been wrong.
I'm very guilty of stereotyping, but I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to treat people equally, give people equal opportunities in life, because that's what I want for myself.
I have been stereotyped.
I've certainly been stereotyped.
I have been stereotyped.
I think I've definitely been stereotyped.
I've definitely been stereotyped many times.
A lot of people think the way I look, certain ways they think that I'm a simple, basic girl.
Don't know if you can tell, but I'm bald, and I kind of got a look about me and a kind of voice about me. So usually it's within the instant of meeting me, most people will come to conclusions, and then it takes a little bit of getting to know me to realise that I might contradict the stereotype that they put me into.
There was one lady, we see her on the bus every day. Then one day she got on the bus and it was packed, and I gave her my seat. She was like, I didn't think you was going to be a nice girl. And I was like, why do you say that? She was like, most girls are not very nice like you. And I was like, what do you mean most girls like me? And she was like, black girls. I was like, I'm mixed race. And she was like, oh yeah, but you know what I meant.
Growing up when I was at school, so at secondary school, when, you know, I've had girls ask me, oh, you know, you're Muslim, are you going to have an arranged marriage?
I've had people say like I talk quite nicely for the race that I am. I'm quite well spoken, for the race that I am, and coming from a single parent family as well, I've done quite well considering.
Stereotyping black people as perhaps aggressive or, you know, outspoken, things like that. So if they're outspoken, they may see that as, oh, that their intelligence is, you know, fearful, and instead of, you know, embracing it and, you know, congratulating them for it, they instead will knock them down for it and try and make it out to be something that it's not.
When does stereotyping become an issue in society?
Stereotyping becomes a problem when
People use it in a more negative, nasty way.
And when we start to implement it in negative ways, like racism, obviously not a good thing, shouldn't do it, should be around, but here it is. Sexism should be around, but here it is. Old-fashioned beliefs, like maybe, I don't know, women belong in the kitchen, very sexist. I don't believe that. I think, you know, men can be in the kitchen as well, for their own good, you know what I'm saying?
People automatically assume that women are not as good at football as men, due to their gender and physicality. Right now we live in a society where people get offended very easily.
Someone speaks out on the things they think about someone.
Racial stereotypes, like, you know, black people can't do certain things, black youths are going to act a certain way. It becomes negative when we start to limit people to what they can do.
It kind of stops you from getting to know individuals.
You can stereotype someone and it not be negative, but that's not really often.
Might be nurtured from our environment, our culture, the friends we have, the people we spend time with.
People in society these days adjust their behaviours in order to fit into society.
They don't act in a certain way to be liked, and they have this belief that people won't judge me in a good light if I don't look like this, if I don't look like that, if I don't behave like that.
We all got to be individuals, we all got to be open-minded to different possibilities that are out there.
My message to people who stereotype.
Oh, my message for people that stereotype.
They just need to change their whole mindset, to be honest.
You need to check yourself.
We need to all be open-minded, learn to see things differently.
You need to be more open-minded at all times.
You've got to look beyond their appearance.
You're like judging a book by its cover.
Can't judge a book by its cover.
Don't assume people by the way they look.
You got to know what kind of person they are first before you form any opinion on them.
Just being negative towards people for no absolute reason, it generally does make you feel worse as a person. So if you just try to be nice for once in your life, you'll definitely be a happier person.
Are you aware that you stereotype people?
It's okay if you're stereotyping, but are you aware of it, and how is it having an impact on your interactions with said people?
Are you willing to do something about that?
Think twice and be kind.
And I feel like that's really important, especially today, especially in circumstances that we're in now.
I think it's most important you have to actually get to know that person, know where that person's from, know why the person may act like that, behave like that, before forming a fixed opinion on someone.
Like, we're already all going through a tough time, so I feel like if you're then bringing upon more struggles and more issues for certain individuals, then that's just completely uncalled for, and you're not really a nice person.
Challenge yourself. Try and look beyond what you see at first glance.
For society, we just need to be really honest with ourselves, and I'd encourage everyone to just reflect on their behaviour.
Go out of your way. Try to get to know someone a little better.